Hey YouTube, it's Erin and I'm the Handbag Housewife, and I'm back again with another video about this beautiful but somewhat damaged Fendi Baguette I received from Italist. Now as you can see, the tag is still attached because this bag is going back to Italy. These creases here from the flap being folded up will not come out. But I thought before I sent it back, I would see what would fit in the bag and also just compare some of the details to some of the bags that I already have. The first one I wanted to show you was the Gucci Marmont. The thickness of these bags is pretty drastically different, as you can see there. The Marmont is significantly deeper, but side to side, there. See, it's just slightly wider, but it's so much more narrow. And I do have items in the Marmont. I was curious if my items that I normally carry would fit into the Fendi Baguette. So I thought I would do that real quickly. So I have the pouch that I normally carry. I have a few loose odds and ends, including my Saint Laurent card holder, my medicine pouch, key fob, hand cream, and AirPods case. All that fits in there, no problem. I have some cash and checks. I think that those should fit just fine in that back pocket. Let's give it a try. The back pocket is wide enough to hold bills. The last of what I have are just some loose cards, and I'm gonna stick those behind my pouch, but in front of the cash. So as you can see, I still have room in there, which is pretty surprising to me. So I think I could just fit my phone right there. I really thought this bag would not be big enough to hold all of that, but it is. And actually, structure-wise, even though it has like no structure, when I have those items in there, it's pretty good. I mean, except for this issue. So it does hold all the same items as the Gucci Marmont. I ordered an organizer for this, and it's in this package. It's from Joy Bag, the same place I got my Marmont organizer from. She makes really thick organizers. Here's the one in the Gucci, and I wanted really thick organizers for both of these bags because these bags tend to be pretty smushy, and that's going to keep it looking nice and new. But I think I can mark this return to sender and save myself $7, so I don't really want to open it. I'm waiting to hear back from her. She said she would send me a return label, but then my total shipping expenses that I would have to pay out of my return amount was $14 versus $7. So I think I can do return to sender unless I can't send it back to the same place she shipped it from. So we'll see on that. If I can't, I may get it out and go ahead and try it on inside the Fendi. But if I can, I want to save the money. So since this bag isn't mine, I'm going to go ahead and put the items back inside of my Marmont, which I'm currently carrying. And then I will show you this bag in comparison to some of my other bags. Okay, so the Fendi has all of its items back inside as far as the stuffing and everything that came with it. And I'm going to go ahead and tuck the Italist tag inside just so that I don't accidentally detach it. They're pretty strict about having everything exactly the way it was whenever I received it. I'm going to be able to duplicate everything except for they had taped that Italist paper around the bag with the dust bag, and I don't think I can get it quite like it was, but everything else will be exactly the same when I send this bag back. One huge thing that I noticed where I prefer bags I have in my closet better than this bag is the glazing around the edges of the flap. So you'll notice that there's no glazing around these edges, which I really like because glazing can tend to be a weak point in bags, and particularly where the glazing is on corners like this, it can tend to crack. Now, this isn't as sharp of a corner as, like, for instance, a Pochette Matisse has or a Cassie has. If you look here, you'll see that my Coach Cassie has a little bit of a sharper turn there with the glazing, but it's also got less of a gap where items could potentially fall out of the top. They both have a pretty good gap, but the Cassie is known for cracking right here, and so is the Pochette Matisse in canvas. And when you look at how these bags look from the side, I wonder if this Fendi is going to have the same issue over time as the other flat bags I'm mentioning. All of the rest of the bags at my feet here do it differently. If you look at the Gucci Marmont, you'll see that the corners and the edges are rolled edges and not glazed. The Fendi, the whole entire top of the bag and the flap is glazed, as well as the edges of the strap. The Marmont, the only part that is glazed is the edges of the strap. The top is rolled leather, the flap is rolled leather, the corners are piped leather, and I feel like that is made better in that regard. This is my Tory Burch Kira, and for color comparison, you can see it's a little bit bluer than the mint color in the Fendi. This Kira is the color Arctic, and again, you look at the edges, the way they're made, there's no glazing on the edges. Now they did put some glazing on the edges of each of these woven pieces to prevent fraying, but at the point where the flap opens and closes, you're not going to see that cracking there, which is really nice. And you'll notice that the depth is just a little wider, just like the Marmont, but then the length of the bags, the Fendi's still a little longer. And that's why the Fendi is able to hold the same amount. It's just that little bit of extra length. Next, I have the Coach Studio bag, which is much deeper, and it has 3 compartments, but again, see the Fendi's longer. This bag is completely leather lined. The Fendi is not completely leather lined. Right now I've got my inserts from Green Tag Inserts in there, but this is 100% leather lined bag from Coach, and I believe that the retail, if I remember right, may have been $4.95. I got a really good deal on this bag, and it is so soft. It is every bit as soft in a slightly different way than the Fendi bag, but honestly, I feel like this is soft, but it has structure. I mean, the flap has structure to it, and you can see it's all rolled leather edges, except for little bits of glazing right here, but that's not at a stress point that could potentially crack because it's being opened and closed. Now the strap on this bag does have glazing on it, but just like I was showing you with the other bags, the point where the bags tend to crack is right here. And so having glazing right there is where you're gonna run into problems more often with bags. You're getting to see all sorts of eye candy today. So this bag looks much bigger than the Fendi. It probably holds a little more. My main point was just to show you that once again, Saint Laurent is all leather without glazing, with the exception of the edges of the top, the breaks that go over your shoulders. No glazing at the stress point of the bag. We just have leather. And whether it's Coach or Tory Burch, that seems to be pretty consistent on these newer bags. And all of these bags are pretty recent bags, except for the Gucci. But I feel like these bags are sort of moving away from putting glazing right there, at least the higher quality ones. The Studio bag is a higher quality bag than the Cassie. The Cassie 19s, they still have that glazing, but they're a much lower price point. The final bag I wanted to show you was the Brioche from Longchamp. Now, these two bags are just almost the same color. The Fendi is just slightly more blue. The Brioche is substantially larger in depth, and it is almost exactly the same width. The Fendi may have it by maybe by ½ an inch. The Brioche doesn't hold as much as you would think because of how it tapers at the top. You can see the Fendi is the same all the way from the top to the bottom. And so you can use pretty much all the space in the baguette, while in this bag, because of how it snaps closed, if you fill it all the way up, that will pop open and it won't look right. But that said, this bag does have more room than this bag. The main reason I wanted to show it to you is, again, the stress points are rolled leather edges. So Longchamp, Coach, Tory Burch, and Saint Laurent are all doing rolled edges with their leather on the stress points of the bag, and the Fendi Baguette is not. So that's something I really don't like about this bag, in addition to the damage, and let me just show you that again. I mean, this is, like I said, it's flattening out since I did my first video this morning. It's getting better, but those dents right there and right there on the F, even over time of flattening out, like yesterday I left it out throughout the day laying. It almost laid down by the end of the day, but those dents were still in the F's, and that's just right on the front of the bag, which bothers me like crazy. I feel like with this Longchamp bag in the slightly greener color and this Tory Burch bag in this slightly bluer color, that this color is somewhat redundant in my collection since I do love both of those other bags. I feel like I would need to sell the Longchamp at least if I decided to keep this bag, which I don't want to keep this bag. If I end up getting this bag again, I would probably get it from a different seller. And I just don't know. I need to think about it. It is beautiful, but I think I would rather go with a completely different color. And so this happening, it's okay. If it would have come and not been like this, I would have kept it in a heartbeat, and I probably would have sold my Longchamp. But now that I see it, I'm just not in love with it like I thought I would be. I do really like it. I'm not saying I'll never get one. In fact, not too long ago, I said the Loulou Puffer wasn't for me and that I preferred the brioche bag. But since then, I've gotten a Loulou Puffer, and I may just have one on the way or two, because I love the Loulou Puffer just as much as I love the brioche bag, if not slightly more. I love most all of my bags. There are very few I would sell or get rid of at this point. I keep looking around my closet trying to find one here or there that I could let go of, and it's really hard because I've curated my collection that well. But I do plan on posting a couple more for sale. I'm just working out which ones in my head I want to let go of. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope that I get the extender chains so that I can show those with this bag before I have to let it go tomorrow morning. If I do, I'll make sure and show you that. It'll be kind of a dress up your purse video, but hopefully it will be helpful for other bags too, because these extenders have this sort of clip. So if you have a bag with this sort of clip, it might be worthwhile checking out. I do like to match my clip style when I use extenders. I just think it looks more streamlined and a little better, but we'll see. That may not work out. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, what are you waiting for? Do it and ring my notification bell so that you are notified of future exciting content such as this. Also, go find me on Instagram. The name there's the same. It's the @ symbol, then the Handbag Housewife, all lowercase. You can DM me there, or you can email me at thehandbaghousewife@gmail.com. If I don't hear from you, I will see you again real soon. Take care and have a fabulous day. Bye.